Hello everyone, welcome back to the world of web development. This video is brought to you by iDoTech and my name is Damilare Idowu Joshua. And today we'll be talking about the following: CSS, external CSS, HTML ID and class, and HTML form. Now, as we discussed before, CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet and is used to format the layout of a website. With CSS, you can control the color, font, size of text, the spacing between elements, how elements are positioned and laid out. We can do so many powerful things with CSS, and we can add CSS to an HTML document in three different ways. We have the inline CSS, which has to do with using the style attribute. We have the internal CSS, which has to do with using the style tag inside the head section, and we have the last one, which is external CSS. So this is like in a separate file, and multiple HTML files can make use of this CSS in this particular file. And this is the best approach when you are building your website. This is the best way to add your CSS. So I'll show you something quickly. You can see this is an example of inline CSS. You can see using the style attribute. This is an example of um, internal CSS using the style tag. So today I'm going to open a project, open a folder that I've created. This is the folder. So I'll be working, on that particular folder. And over here we have this, said external CSS is used to define the style for many HTML pages. To use an external style sheet, add a link to it in the head section of each HTML page. So we have so we've opened this, right? We'll just create a file, index.html, and in this file we are going to be adding our CSS code. So we'll create another CSS file, which is style.css. So press your shift 1 and press enter. So you do that in your HTML document, shift 1, and you press enter. So you can leave other items as they are. You can name it external CSS. That can be the title. So to link, use the link tag and you type rel. That's the relationship, is a style sheet. And the ref, that's the location, so the style is style.css. So it's saved in the same folder as our HTML document, so we don't need to we just write the name. That's all we do, just write the name because they're in the same folder. So now the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to create like a heading. Sorry, h1, and a paragraph. And after doing that, you can see, let's run this. So you can see our heading and paragraph. So we're going to style this, using our external CSS, So what we'll do, just as we've done previously, you can see the body should be should have a background color of powder blue. H1 should have color of blue. and the P, that's paragraph, should have color of red. So you can see you styled this HTML file. Now you can add another HTML file. So we can use, you know, one CSS file to style multiple HTML files when it's external. So let's say HTML heading 2, HTML, this is the paragraph 2. So just to differentiate them. So when we open this in the live server, you can see this is the previous heading, and this is the current heading, and they are both styled with the same CSS code. So that is one of the advantage of using external CSS. So next on our content is HTML class attribute. And the class attribute is often used to point to a class name in a style sheet. So basically, when we have several elements that we want to group them together, we can use the class attribute to do that. As you can see, we have like two paragraph here, paragraph 1 and paragraph 2, and they are being given the same class name. So let me show you how that can work. So let's say we have this paragraph 1. Okay, still coming back to that. Paragraph 2. I'll give them the same class name. So the name is let's just leave it like this, P graph, and this as well. So they both have the same class name, and if I go to my CSS, I can style both of them by just typing P graph, and I can say maybe background color aqua, right? And you can see both of them now have the same background color. Now let me use something like black. So if you've noticed, this other paragraph is not affected because it doesn't have the same class name. So elements with the same class name will be affected by the same CSS property, just like we did here. So we called that class name and we made the background color black. So every class with that name would be affected. Every element with that class name will be affected. Now, in contrast to the class attributes, we also have another one, which is the ID attributes. And ID is used for selecting a specific element, unlike class that is used for selecting specific, for manipulating or selecting specific group of elements. ID is just for one element, and you can see here we have two buttons with different ID. So two elements are not supposed to have the same ID. So if I should do that quickly, I have a button here and call it button 1, and I have another button here. I can call it button 2, and I can give them an ID of just like we have here. Let's just say F button, and yes, other one I give it ID of S button. So now that we have this, we can go to our style and call it. Now, to call an element by its ID, you have to use the hash. So hash F button. I want the background color to be orange, and for the second button, I want the background color to be green. So if you go back here, you can see that one button is orange, the other one is green, by just selecting the ID. So we use the ID attribute, and when you want to select it, make sure you have your hash before the name, before the ID name. So next we have HTML forms, and basically a form is used to collect user input. The user input is most often sent to a server for processing, and the form tag is used to create HTML forms for user to input their information. And we have different types of input elements. We have text fields, checkbox, radio buttons, submit buttons, etc. So we have a sample here. We are going to be creating this, right? So we're going to be creating that. I'll create a new. I've rearranged this so that it will be easier for us to run our code and see the output. So we're going to be using internal CSS. We can also use external, but for this, I will just use internal CSS. So I'll press Shift 1, for the templates, HTML forms, right? And I'll have my style tag here. And I'll have my either H1, H2, anyone you want to use HTML forms. So I have to create the form tag. Now in form we have, let me make this live so that we can be seeing as I'm updating. Yeah, that's better now. So we have label, updates, upload password, passport. And we have user inputs. So the type is file, and we're going to add a break tag so that it have this vertical view, and we have another break tag here. So you can see that the moment I change the type, um, the input format will change. So I have another label which is first name. So for this input, we're going to use the type of text. So we have another break tag here. And we can use the for attribute to specify, which ID, this particular label is for. So we can use for first name. So we come here and we'll say we can add what we call the placeholder, like a hint. Say enter your first name with the ID. So you can see like it's giving like some kind of hints here. So that's the work of the placeholder property. Now input tag doesn't usually have a closing tag, just like it only has the opening tag. So we just do similar thing. Last name, this will be our name, and enter your last name. Okay, there's a mistake here. Yeah. So the next I'm going to do is I'll go to my view, go to this and click word wrap. So you can see how the text is immediately rearranged. I'll click on label. So I want 3 labels now. Space them, and here I'll have gender, here I'll have male, and here I'll have female. So the next thing is that I'm going to have the input here, and the type is going to be radio, and I'll have another input here with the same radio. Now you can see I'm having 2 like check buttons or radio buttons here, and I can click both of them. So to avoid instances like that, because I want to be able to select only one, I will give them the same name to group them together. So they both have the same name, gender. So you can't click both of them anymore, you can only click one now. So you can also give it the value, depending on what you want, of female or male. So if you have to send the value to the server, this is the value that will be sent to the server. So that is how you can add simple radio buttons. And if you want to add like a submit button, just add another input and you give it the type of button, and they give you the value of submit. And don't forget to add like a break tag here. So, and one more thing, we're going to add margin, so you click input, so that you're selecting all the input elements, and you give it a margin of 10px. So that would help to like space this. So you see it's looking much better now. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like this video, make sure you comment. If you have any question, share, and make sure you subscribe to this channel to keep getting more information on programming and web development. Thank you.